Hello and welcome back. Today we're working on my Sebenza. So if you have seen any of the previous videos, I jacked the clip all up on my Sebenza, and I have bought a Lynch Northwest replacement deep carry clip, and we're going to take the old one off, put this one in, and while I'm at it, it's been quite a while since I've had this knife apart to clean it. If you can see all that funk and pocket nastiness and just garbage up in there, we're gonna go ahead and take it out, take the blade out, clean it up, and re-lube it and put it back together. So that's today's little afternoon project, so that's what we're gonna do. So let's get started. I'm gonna start with the clip here. I don't know what size this is. This clip came, or this Allen wrench came with the Lynch clip. Let's see if I can get this thing. Man, that thing's in there. There we go. But if you buy a Sebenza, or definitely if you buy it firsthand, or if you do buy it secondhand, it should come with the box. There's a wrench in there, so it's all the tools you need. So I don't believe, no, it's just like a hex head thing, so it's not a Torx bit, just so you know. Okay, that was a little bit, it's a little bit odd. It doesn't quite, I don't know if you can see right in this area right here. Doesn't quite fill that hole that's in there. So like how this kind of dishes out right here, like right along here, this new clip doesn't seem to, you can see the footprint of the clip and the hole in which it's going to go to, they don't quite match, which is odd. It seems like up here on the top of this, that fits securely right in there, so I guess that's kind of one of those it is what it is type things. I don't know if that's because as far as I know, if I recall correctly, his clips work for 21s and 31s, so I don't know if there's a difference. I've never owned or honestly handled a Sebenza 21, so I don't know. So like there's clips for the large and then there's clips for the small on both the 21 and 31, so I don't know if that's like that. So holding this all jacked up. I don't know if it's like that, so it's compatible for both the 21 and the 31, or what. But that's the hat, so not a whole lot to it. It's definitely shorter in this dimension, definitely thicker right here, and definitely deeper carry. I do think that he did a pretty darn good job matching the finish. The only thing that makes it look goofy is that this has no snail trails while the rest of the knife does, so I'll have to maybe go out and rough it up a little bit. So, but that's the clip. It seems a lot more substantial than the stock clip, so yeah, that's that. Now, as far as disassembly of the fun bits of this knife, the last time I did this, I did it, whoa, kind of sandwich style. You know, you lay the scale down, then you lay the washer on, then you lay the blade on, then you put the bushing in, then you put the other washer on, then you put the other scale on, then you screw it all together. That's how I did it last time, but you can be super cool and pop out the pivot screw and pop out the pivot out the other side, and this should all just slide right out. Look at that. You know, some days I amaze myself. It's almost like I know what I'm talking about, or maybe I'm just lucky. So anyways, you can see all that crud and grime in there, and so we're going to get all that cleaned up real quick. So these washers definitely are different sizes from one side to the other. The smaller washer, it's smaller because it has to fit right here, so it doesn't interface with the lock bar, whereas the other side, it can be as big as it wants, I guess. So what am I going to do first? I'm going to did I even get that wet? There we go. Hopefully I can have enough room to get in here and just kind of get all the funk out of there. Clean up the lock bar, the ceramic ball, clean that dude up. Kind of cram that thing down in there, maybe come in here, do a little bit of that. Might even, while I'm at it, just clean out any other pocket fuzz that's in here. Not too bad. Kind of funky, but not too bad right in there. Let's make sure we clean this really nicely. Okay. Yeah, I think that detent ball is good enough. So, now we'll just clean up the blade and the washers. Just a status update is how it's wearing in. You can see the detent ball path very well, and how it's sliding on how the blade's sliding on the washers there. When I do put this back together, I need to refill my rubbing alcohol. Come on, what am I doing here? There we go. When I do put this back together, I have some nano weight, what is it? 85 weight, nano oil, 85 weight. And that's what I'll be putting on there. You can kind of see. Kind of see the little notch where that ceramic ball is locking up against the blade there. But I'm using the heavier weight oil because, you know, this knife wasn't really designed to be super flicky and super fast and super fidgety, which is kind of a nice change of pace. You know, I mean, I love fast fidgety knives, you know, compression locks, axis lock, whatever. Auto knives, they're all super fun. But on the other hand, Sebenza smooth is most definitely a thing. And I like my Sebenza slow. It's kind of just nice change of pace. Have it be a little unique for the collection there. Okay, I think you can kind of see all the scratches there on that side. and not so much over here. The side with all the scratches is the side that rubs against the blade. So when I put this back together, I'll make sure to put that on there the right way. That should be the same story over here. Let's see. This one might be a little bit more difficult to tell. If I had to venture a guess, this one is more difficult to tell, but I think that this side here is the side that interfaces with the blade. So that's what we'll go with. It's pretty evenly looking. I don't know, there's not quite as distinguishable as the other washer which one is the good side. Okay, so let's get out some oil. Like I said, nano oil, 85 weight. So I am going to get the inside of the bearing, the outside of the bearing. If you watched me take apart and put back together a knife, you know that I over-oiled the shit out of everything. So I fully intend on doing that again today. I am, just because I'm a weirdo. Put a slight dot right there. Put a slight dot right there in the detent ball. And while we're at it, might as well go ahead and, I thought that was like an air bubble coming out of there, but it was most definitely not. That was all oil. So the champion of over-oiling is back. And that's all right. Okay. So we can find our scratched up side. Well, let me put the bearing in first, if I can. Whoa, everything's kind of slippery and this thing is sharp, so good times. Okay, put that in place. There we go. Put that right there. I think I set that one for the side I want is up, so should be all good to go there. So hopefully that oil just kind of grabs it in these washers and sticks them right to the blade, which is what it seems to be doing. So just going to be a nerd and do a couple extra little daubers here. And then should be able to just slide this dude right back in here. Okay, now we got past the hard part there, and then we just, we'll probably have to open up the lock bar there. So now you can see straight through. So that is all fine and dandy. Let me wipe my hands just a little bit, even though it doesn't really matter. I'll just use the extra oil that I have on my fingers to oil up that pivot. Oh, she's moving just a little bit, but hopefully I'm gonna try to do this where I can see it with my eyeballs and you can see it on the camera. And that's not quite working so hot right now. There she goes. So I just pushed that straight back through there. Now I can probably wipe my hands. Haven't cut myself yet, so that's a good thing. just a touch of Loctite. Come on, there you are. Now the cool thing about having that bearing, that pivot bearing in there, is that it doesn't really matter how tight you get this pivot screw. Like, you don't have to jack with it nearly as much. It's either, you know, once you get it completely snug, that should be right where it's at. Let's check the centering. Looks dead nuts to me. No blade play. Perfect. So that's that. Let me gonna clean this dude up a little bit. I got oil all over it. Oh, I was gonna do that flit stuff just to kind of try to polish that up a little bit more, but excuse me, maybe in the next 10 months from now when I take this thing apart again, I'll do that. So yeah, that's that. Nice, fresh, clean, freshly lubed pivot and a sweet new deep carry pocket clip that isn't bent to shit. So that's that. I'm gonna go carry my Sebenza. Have a good rest of your day. See ya.